welcome to a new video, and today we're taking a look at the first 2 days on board of the Costa Toscana. We are boarding the ship in Marseille and then we are sailing to Barcelona. From there we're continuing on heading to Palermo. Here on the map you can see our route today. We are starting in my hotel in Marseille, close to the main station, and from there I walked to the port. Of course I cannot walk to the ship directly, but I'm walking to the station of the free shuttle bus of the port. On the way to the ship it was working very well. There was not too much waiting time and the bus was not too full, but it was completely different on my way back. There it didn't work at all. The bus was completely overcrowded and I had to wait extremely long, so I cannot recommend this bus. I would pay a bit of money for a shuttle of the cruise company or take a taxi, but this bus is a bit risky, and I will explain to you why in the last video of the series that we are starting now. So here we have the beautiful Costa Toscana, one of the biggest cruise ships in the world, and we're now heading on board. And first I went into the buffet restaurant because the cabin was not ready yet. I was boarding quite early. And after a nice lunch I went into one of the bars for a first drink, and then my cabin was ready. So here you can see my balcony cabin. This time the cruise was pretty cheap and the difference between inside, outside and balcony cabin wasn't that big, so I decided to go for a balcony. And here we can see the balcony, and I will immediately show to you what is my problem with this ship class. This is the view from the balcony, so you're looking down to the promenade. It's quite far to the ocean and you have no chance to look down on the ocean. You look always down on the promenade and behind is the ocean. So it feels a bit distanced from the sea, and that's something I do not really like. Also you hear people on the promenade all the time, so yeah, it's not perfect. The bathroom is perfect, I really loved it, very nice layout, and I personally also love that there's a window to the cabin, because that means you have daylight in the bathroom. It feels much bigger, feels much nicer with natural light. Of course, it might be a problem if you don't know your travel partner that well, but then you can just close this curtain and you have a lot of privacy, no problem. So for me, it's a very good thing, but I know a lot of people found it strange or don't like it, but I do like it and I think it's a quite nice idea. We also have a sofa and we have a nice proper desk with a comfortable chair, so it's also possible to do some work here. We have power sockets, of course, available, regular power sockets and USB power sockets. On the balcony we have a very small table and 2 deck chairs, and the balcony also has a quite decent size. We're now heading back inside. Here we can see the couch. I think you can also sleep on that couch, can be used as a third bed, and here we have the nice double bed, which comes only on one side with power sockets. After participating in the digital safety drill, I went back out on my balcony. Here we can see the Aida Diva, the ship that I was just traveling on a couple of weeks ago. And you have probably already seen my videos from the Aida Diva. That video now was shot much earlier, but I released the Aida Diva videos immediately and not in a chronological order. That's why here we can still see her in the shipyard, even though I was already traveling on her and you already saw the videos about that. In the evening it was time for dinner, and of course if you have 2 seating times and all passengers of the restaurants have to come at the same time, that's a bit of crowded in the beginning. And as you can see, the food was not amazing today. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, because so far Costa always had great food, but here on this day it was okay, but nothing special. Here you can see one of the big parties I mentioned before in the Colosseo. It's not only used for shows, it's also used as a club in the evening for dancing parties And of course, on an Italian ship there's much better atmosphere than on German ships, for example, because Italian people of course know how to party, and therefore it's always a great atmosphere on board. If you like to dance, if you like to party, Costa is perfect to go. And after that I went into the Poltrona Frau nightclub for some more dancing and partying. So as you can see, this is very well possible here on the Costa Toscana. Well, that's it for this very long first day on board, and on the next day I woke up when the ship was already approaching the port of Barcelona. It's very nice that I can just step on my balcony and watch the ship going into port. Of course, it's a big advantage compared to an inside cabin. And after breakfast it was time to leave the ship, and I'm now heading into the city of Barcelona. I have nice plans for today, and therefore I now take the shuttle bus to the city center. Here in Barcelona you don't need to buy the shuttle from the cruise company. The cruise bus of Barcelona is very reliable. You should plan around half an hour maybe if it's very busy. There are a lot of people. You have to pay I think around 3 euros, so it's not very expensive. But these 3 euros make sure, compared to the free shuttle in Marseille, that they have enough buses. So there's always a bus there, one bus left, and immediately the next bus is arriving, so you don't have to wait very long. The thing that takes the longest is paying the ticket. Very reliable, so you don't need to buy a shuttle from the ship or a taxi. I had big plans for today. I was going to the Montserrat mountain and monastery, and we will see this in the next upcoming video, because there will be a whole video about this trip, and that's why we're now already back on our way to the ship. Here we are back at the Costa Toscana, and here we are in the beautiful cruise terminal. Security was pretty fast and efficient, and after just a couple of minutes I'm already back on board, and I went straight to my balcony to watch the cruise ferry Cruise Roma approaching the port of Barcelona, sailing past my balcony window. That was of course very nice to see. A very interesting and impressive cruise ferry, hopefully also topic of a video one day. And then slowly it was also time for us to leave the port of Barcelona, heading for our next destination, which will be Palermo. In between we have a day at sea. So now it's getting dark outside and we are getting ready for the departure. Of course I was watching it from my balcony. What's quite interesting is that we are going out of the port quite closely to the airport of Barcelona. That means that we have some planes flying above us with not that much altitude, and of course we're gonna listen to it and look at it now here in the next clip. So that was quite impressive to watch planes from your cabin balcony. Really enjoyed that. Here we are slowly leaving Barcelona. We're now heading out to the open seas, and now it is time for another dinner. So let's see if it's getting better this time. It was better, but still not perfect. You can feel that the kitchen has much more work to do than on a comparable Aida Nova, where they just have to fill up a buffet. Here they have to prepare each and every plate. For example, the mashed potatoes were a bit dry on the top because they were waiting too long under a heater, and other things that didn't work out very well on the first days. It was better at the end of the cruise. We will see that in the next videos, but in the beginning it was not perfect. I would say slightly better than MSC, but for sure not on the level that I was used to from other Costa cruises. And now something special, the first time for me at a sea destination. That's a new concept of Costa, and it's a point in the middle of the ocean where it is very, very dark. And here we had the chance to watch the stars, to do some stargazing, and that was very impressive because they turned all lights off that are not absolutely necessary, so it was pitch black outside and we could watch the stars, and that was just so beautiful. I tried to film it, but of course that's pretty hard to film stars. So yeah, here you can get an idea of what it looked like, but of course it was a bit more spectacular to see it yourself. But I also took a picture which shows a bit better how much stars there are here. You can see it. So many stars to see. That was very impressive and I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the idea of sea destinations. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.